Hello, everyone. This is Foxcat, and yes, welcome back to another episode of me looking into the GP Read Lord. Where today, or this evening, GP Read had just released the brand new episode of High Five Friends. This being episode 9, and to be honest, this episode was pretty good. It was very good. It actually has a lot of lore dump to it. How, however, however, it is a very short episode. But give Grant some credit. He really did put a lot in here that explains quite a lot, and it's a very big deal. Now, two things before we get started. First of all, this is super early. I know it's kind of weird that it is kind of super early of me doing this video, but honestly, I just wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way because while it is a whole lot of lore d- dump and even some exclamations on some things, it's it's a very short episode. So, and I really do want to talk about it. So, it is going to be shorter than usual with my analysis, and I might not even show that much of the video, but I will show some important parts. Really, one funny one that I really want to show because surprisingly, despite it also just being funny, it actually is very interesting. However, just note that this is kind of still incomplete because because I did talk to GB Reed, and he did confirm there is another version of the episode 9 with an alternate ending that will be released on his channel soon, whenever it gets rendered or not. But I figured we have enough to go by for now beforehand. Just know that when the next episode, because I'm actually planning to make this a two-parter because there's still a lot I need to look into. But in the second part, I will touch upon that whole other ending because in this part, I'll just focus on the main story beat we got. And then for the second part, I'll actually dive into that alternate ending, but also the bigger thing we also learn about this episode involving symbolism with once again gods, meaning that I actually do gotta do some research on those gods and goddesses. And it's very interesting, so we'll see. But for now, let's actually do talk about the episode. And like I said, it's nothing too big. It just picks up where we left off. In fact, here it is, literally them driving. It's literally them driving to the workplace because, as a refresher, right now they're going to try to save Happy's sister because of, craziness and stuff. However, his new friend, or seemingly kind of questionable friend to say the least, who knows, he has confirmed a few things to Happy, and the biggest one was this.
The critters are carrying the worms that the victims have. Every victim has had at least one critter, and every critter that they had was infected.
Wait, what? Are my critters infected? Do I have these hyperparasites too?
Yes, you do, Happy. I don't even have to test you to know this. The killer's targeting you. It's all the proof we need.
Oh, Frog. And why are they giving people worms?
I don't know the specifics, but from what I've gathered, they use these worms to select the body parts they remove from each victim, similarly to the behavioral patterns of another parasitic worm, Gordian worms, or horsehair worms. Adverse Gordian worms, however, who burrow out of their host upon being submerged. These worms dig in deeper. They dig into the specific body part that these people need, in fact. For whatever reason, the worms are always located near the point of extraction, reaching out of the wound and cleaving to any remaining tissue left behind during said extraction. In
why would they want the wormy body parts? Wouldn't they be all chewed up?
Why indeed? Serial killers tend to hold on to delusional obsessions. Perhaps they consider the selected body parts to be more edible if they're cannibals. Or maybe they worship these worms as gods and consider the worm selection sacred. Who can say, really? We won't know until we find these killers and ask them ourselves, I suppose. I guess we can question them now, since we are getting rid of them once we find them. I doubt they will remember anything without being activated, though. It's going to put us in a lot of danger to go this route. Not about it argue further.
I just don't want to kill someone for something they couldn't control. I want to give them the chance I never had.
Indeed.
Now?
The worms don't burrow into the organs until the victim is dead and submerged in water. At least I think they have to be dead first. You may want to avoid swimming until we can get those removed and breathing.
Okay.
You're fine. They're just swimming around in the bloodstream right now.
Now, for those who didn't get it, and BS, sorry if you didn't hear it. I have like literally my thing on, so if you didn't hear it, but pretty much you probably get the point. Which, yeah, this explains a lot. And to be fair, I did kind of called it, being that, yeah, the critters they're talking about, for those who don't remember, is those weird bugs they use. They use little mannequin hand parts to make the bugs. Bugs that, believe it or not, Happy did in fact have. And it kind of does actually prove my point that I thought what they were being based off of, being maggots. But I didn't expect them to like have a little bit of that. And to clarify for those who don't know what's going on, in short, the reason why the killer's been using the critters was to basically remove the body parts, but also this explains how they work and how a bunch of stuff we already been seeing, makes sense. For example, the water part. This is true. We've seen this before. The killer will throw their bodies into waters, so these parasites, worms apparently, but parasites they have will work and basically cookie cutter their organs out. Which, okay, I'm gonna be real with you. This is pretty much obvious. Naomi, they have been well known for we've been doing this before, but now we kind of get the more darker sides of their surgeries. We've been known they have darker sides of their surgeries before. I pointed them out multiple times, but now we get how they're getting a lot of the bodies they've been using. And no matter who's the true killer is in this scenario, the real mastermind behind all this is obviously Naomi, no matter what. And there's actually proof of that, believe it or not, at the ending, but we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, and pretty much that's mostly what's going on with that situation. Now, of course, as you can see, Happy's having a panic attack because apparently, I did miss this, but we saw it. According to what his friend said, apparently the worms are now in his bloodstream. I still think it's both a panic attack and just that at the same time because, yeah, who wouldn't have a panic attack? Basically, you have killer parasites in your goddamn body, so of course you'll go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over that. Like, I don't want that. No one wants that. But of course, because of that, he gets a very interesting dream that is very interesting, and it even jokingly shows what happens to the victims and show these worms. And actually, it's just a flashback, and this also goes back to the whole goddesses thing I have to look into. Which, to be fair, even without looking into it that much, you can tell this is connected to Naomi's philosophy towards the whole goddess stuff. And yeah, I really do have to look into this stuff. But what's interesting is, as you'll soon see, there's Happy's father and mother. And as you can see from higher chattering, which I'm just going to go ahead and blast through this because it really is higher chattering. apparently his mother is trying to talk to his father, Richard, here, and you'll soon see. Well, I was talking about the whole Magus thing. Yeah, it's a whole nightmare. It's like a what happened to actual worms, believe it or not. Like, see with the whole creepy worm thing and all that. Yeah, pretty yikes. But the point is, the hyper talking. Here's what I could get so far because it is clear enough to hear it and some of the words, but you have to really have a good hearing, or at least have a sound separator, program to do so. I don't have it, but I know people do, so there will be a point where the sound will be separated. But in short, he said they're talking about Happy, of course, and apparently they're saying something about how they are getting into the program, and towards the end, she's like, "Are you sure you want to erase him?" Which could mean a bunch of stuff, honestly. And that's pretty much what there was talking about. Now, of course, what time period this is taking place? Obviously, this was probably taking place during a time where the father was transferring Happy and his sister into the Naomi program, but who knows? And this also begs the question: who killed Happy's mother? Was this a true traumatized event? And did Happy accidentally killed her? Because as I'll quickly show here, apparently Happy's face turns into the creepy smile. Yeah, that's a very creepy smile. Into that during when they were talking about it. So could it possible that Happy might accidentally killed his mother, or someone else did it and controlled him to kill his mother? Because again, I really deeply believe Happy's not really a killer here. More like he's just a main plot point at this point. Who knows? But yeah, that's basically probably a traumatic event. And this also explains why we haven't seen his mother at all, and see why his father is mostly taking control of the entire situation, to say the least. Now, there is one more thing I do want to talk about real quick before getting to the ending, because the ending is very big and it's very crazy. But I do gotta jokingly want to show this because, like I said, it's both really funny, but it's also very interesting. And literally just watch. It's at the beginning. Of course, I always send a link down in the description for these videos. But really, I recommend hearing it clearer because it's so crazy. I gotta give props to GP Reed of literally doing this song. This is like a B of average. It makes me happy. But that's probably because we're talking about me here. But really, just listen.
In my dreams, as you sneak in through my window while I'm asleep. Your cold hands wrapping around my throat. Oh, baby, that's the stuff. I awaken, but can't move. Oh, yeah, you're my sleep paralysis demon, baby.
Again, I don't know how the flying Megamate fuck he was able to do that, but give him props because that is like the most funniest shit I ever heard. I never expect him to sing a erotic song. That's like the most funniest shit I ever heard. So shout out to him because that's literally funny. But there is a reason why I bring this up though, because despite it also being funny, it's interesting because it actually does once again tie into the story. And for context, apparently this was being played. The friend had a CD, the investigator had a CD, he plugged it in, and basically played the music. Yeah, that's the music he likes listening. That is suspicious for multiple reasons, but again, it's a whodunit thing, so I can't really call that out. But it does sound, very suspicious and has some interesting connections, honestly. Especially when it says, like, paralysis demon. Like, oh, God. But anyways, now to the very important ending, which I also am just going to show because it's very insane. Here it is.
Alright, let's see what I can find.
Soulcorp has determined that your anxiety levels have peaked and will now help to restore your peace of mind. Sit back and listen to this classic bedtime story while maintaining eye contact with your personalized Soulcorp lead. This service will be provided to you free of charge. Remember, Soulcorp cares about your personal health.
Guess we'll see what this is all about then.
Soleil, also known as Sol, is one of the most powerful deities, the goddess of the sun itself, responsible for all life on Earth. She is the patroness of the unfortunate, especially orphans. The sun and the moon were once one entity.
Yeah, is that relaxing to you? I'll make sure to be in the literal live chat saying that's not relaxing. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, like, go ahead, stare at his face that is beyond creepy and try to relax. Now, granted, it's pretty easy to explain what was going on. Basically, Naomi caught up to Blanco, and they did not like his investigation. And I'm just going to say it. Yes, it's debatable. I could jokingly say it's hacked, but in all honesty, it's not even that hacked. It's just more so that they locked it down, to say the least. But you can still use the term hack if you want to. I'm not going to try to throw that out. But yeah, they basically cut off to him, and it's no surprise because remember, most of the Naomis are kind of cyborg robot kind of thing. And of course, they obviously have some tracking device in them. So obviously, the whole group of Naomi keeps an eye on each member. So of course, when they find out that he was doing some shady stuff, they hide it as, oh, your anxiety is going up, and make a creepy video because of mind control. Which, yes, also that too has some goddess stuff, and I will definitely look into it as well. But yeah, that's relaxing. Creepy eyeballs. Woman. I don't know. Oh, and also, apparently he was looking at another ARG, which I actually do know because GP Reed has tackled it. But however, and I guess it's now kind of connected. I know it has been connected before, actually. But I haven't done a deep dive into that series because that series is boatload of long. We'll have to make a live stream in order to look into that one. But in short, it seems to have some connections to that as well, and he was like looking into it. So he was definitely going out his way to look on YouTube for stuff. And yeah, fun fact though, a bit of interesting trivia, but I'm not gonna really talk about it too much. That's not the only Easter egg reference of a third party GP likes. Grant also had a foreshadowing of an interview he did with a certain person. I'm not going to say his name. I do know who he is. He even confirmed it. The reason why is, well, if you know, you know. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to support him. In fact, that's actually pretty awesome that Grant was able to interview a more higher up YouTuber, to say the least. But it's in the car. You recognize it if you recognize the voice. Pretty dope. Congratulations to him for able to interview a higher up, a more well-known YouTuber. But I'll just leave you that, to say the least. And yeah, you can see I wasn't joking about saying they basically, it's basically short. It's a very short episode. There's not a whole lot to it. We'll have to see the alternate ending, but real talk, it's very interesting to say the least. And honestly, I am excited to see because, fun fact, we actually did make it to the 10th episode because the next episode will be possibly the final, keyword final. I don't know if he's going to make an episode 11, but I do remember this is the turning point where the series is going to end. And honestly, I will have to do a recap of the entire series. I've been saying that before, but obviously because it does have some connections to Naomi, of course. But yeah, this is definitely a very big series as well. But in short, this is honestly pretty good episode. It's actually a pretty funny one. Really, this is a pretty. I can't wait, and it definitely helps build the climax of what will happen in the series finale because it's very interesting. But of course, we'll have to see. Anyways, this has been Floxcat snapping out of here, and like I said, I will make a part 2 once I get the time to look into those goddess, and once the ending of the other episode comes out. Anyways, snap it out of here. Bye bye.